Hello everyone, Clips here. And hey, don't be throwing tomatoes at me, okay? I'm back. I was just taking a little break. Welcome to the ultimate tier list for Halo Combat Evolved. The game that redefined first-person shooters and laid the foundation for one of the most iconic franchises in gaming history. From the moment those first Halo trailers hit TV screens back in the day,
when it seems like all is lost, when it feels as if you have no hope, when you are outnumbered, overpowered, and they've got you cornered, that's when you realize your last best hope is you. Halo Combat Evolved, rated M for mature.
Showing off jaw-dropping gameplay to the unforgettable campaign missions, this game set the standard for everything that followed. Yeah, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But hey, we're not here to just bash on bad missions. We're celebrating what makes each of these levels memorable, from the Pillar of Autumn to the Maw. Now, just to be clear, I've played through every single one of these levels on heroic difficulty, because that was what I looked up to be considered the canon difficulty. It's where the challenge feels just right without going overboard, and it's how I've ranked each of these missions. I've also already played through the entire campaign on Legendary, so don't come at me with your pitchfork saying, oh, well, you ain't experienced the full difficulty. I just didn't want that difficulty to affect how I rank these levels too much, especially since playing the library on Legendary would have me going literally through my ceiling. And alright, without further ado, let's get started with our first mission and see which one makes it to the top and which ones end up in the library tier. First up, we've got Pillar of Autumn, and this one's definitely in the S tier, no question about it. Let's talk about why. This mission is more than just an introduction to the game, it sets the tone for everything that follows. You start aboard the Pillar of Autumn, the ship that takes you to the Halo Ring, and it immediately grabs you with that feeling of being in the middle of something epic.
Am I right, Marines?
Sir, yes, sir!
Damn right I am.
After the fall of Reach, you awaken from the Pillar of Autumn to find that your crew is under attack by Covenant forces. Right from the start, you're thrown into the chaos. No hand-holding, no long tutorials, it's an immediate fight for survival. The level begins with the Covenant boarding the ship, forcing you to fight your way through narrow corridors and open hangars. The frantic action really grabs you. You're not just learning the basics, you're in the fight. Grunts and elites make their appearance early, and that's where Pillar of Autumn really starts to show off its brilliance. The combat is fast-paced at some times and unforgiving, a lot. At first you're just getting familiar with your arsenal, but the intensity is immediately clear. The Covenant's superior firepower and aggressive tactics force you to think quickly. You'll be constantly ducking behind cover, using grenades strategically, and testing out new weapons like the plasma rifle and assault rifle. This mission teaches you the core mechanics that'll carry you throughout the whole game. What's great about the Pillar of Autumn is that it introduces players to Halo's fluid weapons system. You're not stuck with just one weapon. You can switch between two weapons on the fly. Or, technically you could use the glitch to get 3 weapons here at the beginning of the game, but that only applies to this level, I'm pretty sure. The game's design encourages experimentation, which is a hallmark of Halo's gameplay. You might start with a trusty assault rifle, but you quickly find yourself picking up a plasma pistol. You're constantly adapting and improvising, which keeps the combat fresh and exciting. This mission is also the first time you'll get a feel for the AI that Halo is known for. The Marines aren't just there for decoration. They'll fight with you, provide backup, and even make some hilarious comments along the way. The teamwork dynamic sets the stage for later missions where you'll be working alongside more Marines or even piloting vehicles together. Now, beyond the gameplay, Pillar of Autumn introduces you to the larger story. Captain Keyes gives you a quick briefing about the ship's situation, and that's when you first hear about Halo itself. It's the perfect way to drop players into the mystery of the Halo Ring. It's not just a battleground. It's the key to something much bigger. The atmosphere here does an amazing job of conveying the sense of urgency and the looming mystery. As you progress, you start to notice just how well the level is designed. The corridors of the Pillar of Autumn are tight, claustrophobic at some places, and filled with enemies, making each firefight feel intense. The level also gives you open spaces like the hangar, which offer more room to move around and experiment with tactics. There's a good balance between the two that keeps the gameplay engaging. As the mission nears its end, Master Chief and the crew are forced to abandon ship, boarding drop pods to head down to the surface of Halo. This transition from the Pillar of Autumn to the unknown world of Halo is not just a shift in location, it's the beginning of something much bigger. Pillar of Autumn doesn't just introduce gameplay mechanics and set the tone, it establishes a sense of scale, urgency, and mystery. It leaves you hungry for what's next. That's why it earns its spot in S tier, personally for me. It's an unforgettable opening mission that perfectly blends action, story, and a little bit of exploration.
We're coming in too fast! Damn! Air brake failure! They flew too early! I'm losing her! Right for impact!
The next level is Halo, and it lands on the B side of my tier list. This mission is pivotal in the Halo Combat Evolved campaign, but it doesn't quite hit the highs of the S tier levels. Right off the bat, when you step out of the drop pod, you see the gorgeous world that Halo is known for. But you're also faced into a mix of combat with the Covenant forces. You're faced with grunts, elites, and the introduction of jackals. This is also where you first fight off against banshees, which at the time felt like a big game changer in terms of enemy mobility and the aerial combat dynamic. But the standout element of Halo is definitely the Marines.
We're scattered all over this valley. We called for evac, but until you showed up, I thought we were cooked.
As you make your way across the ring, the level design takes a noticeable shift, and you'll start encountering Forerunner structures. These areas add a new layer of exploration, making the mission feel like more than just a series of firefights. One of the big reasons Halo lands in B tier is because it drags on at times. The mission involves a lot of running around, clearing out Covenant forces, and waiting for dropships to come in with reinforcements. If you don't mind speeding through the level by taking out the Marines and rushing past the dropships, it might be quicker, but if you're like me, you'll find yourself waiting for enemies to spawn. This makes the level feel longer than it needs to be, and that repetition hurts its pacing. I mean, that was mainly because I was recording for the video. I normally kill off all the Marines except for the last group anyways, just to get through the level. But yeah, with that being said, there are some solid encounters. You face off against tougher enemies, and the tactical combat does require you to use your environment and weapons effectively. And the Warthog. It's not all bad, but the same enemies in similar environments throughout the mission start to weigh it down just a tad. The mission ends with a Pelican extraction, which provides a nice, neat way to wrap things up, but after all the back and forth fighting and waiting, it almost feels like a relief to move on rather than an exciting conclusion. In the end, Halo is a good level with a lot of foundational gameplay elements that define the series, but it suffers from pacing issues. The repetitive combat and long waits for reinforcements make it feel like it drags on. It's not a bad mission by any means, but compared to some of the more dynamic levels in the campaign, it feels like it belongs in B tier.
Captured Captain Keyes and are holding him aboard one of their cruisers, the Truth and Reconciliation. The ship is currently holding position approximately 300 meters above the other end of this plateau.
So how do we get inside the ship if it's in the air? The Corps issued me a rifle, not wings.
There's a gravity lift that ferries troops and supplies between the ship and the surface. That's our ticket in.
The next level is the Truth and Reconciliation, and it lands on the A side of my tier list. The Truth and Reconciliation is a fantastic blend of tactical combat and tense atmosphere. The mission kicks off with you and a team of Marines approaching the Covenant ship Truth and Reconciliation from the surface. You can either go full stealth or engage head-on. There's a chance for some quiet takedowns as you advance, but once your cover's blown, it's full-on combat from that point forward. Even so, you can still make it to the gravity lift, but the enemy will definitely know you're there, which adds a sense of urgency. As you fight your way to the gravity lift, the true beauty of the Truth and Reconciliation emerges. You encounter some serious combat challenges, including the introduction of the terrifying hunters. When these massive brutes drop from the grav lift, the music really amps up, emphasizing that they mean business. You'll need to be on your toes, or, you can just have your sniper rifle ready, bait them into swinging their shield on you, and one-tap them in their weak spot. It's pretty easy, right? Inside the ship, the atmosphere shifts to a much more confined and intense space. You'll be navigating through tight corridors, battling both regular Covenant troops and stealth Sangeli. These enemies introduce new levels of threat, especially the stealth elites who can be a real pain when they ambush you. The highlight of the level comes when you find and rescue Captain Keyes. This part is not only important for the story, but it also adds a layer of depth to the mission as you fight through multiple Covenant hordes to free him. Now, if you didn't go through the struggle of Keyes' bad AI and the fact that you have to make sure that he does not die to anything, the mission wraps up with a dramatic exit where Keyes takes control of a Covenant dropship and leads the escape. Don't ask me how, he just knows how to drive a Covenant dropship, but he does. He's the captain. It's a thrilling and cinematic way to end the level, and it leaves you wanting more.
Nice one, sir.
Time for a little payback.
The Covenant believe that what they call the Silent Cartographer is somewhere under this island. The Cartographer is a map room that will lead us to Halo's control center. The island has multiple structures and installations. One of them contains the map room.
We're approaching the LZ. It's gonna be hot. Get set to cut out swinging. Touchdown! Hit it, Marines!
Next up is the Silent Cartographer, and I'm putting this one in S tier. There's just so much love about this level. It's a perfect combination of open world exploration, intense combat, and stunning visuals. From the moment you land on the beach and see the island stretching out before you, you get this feeling of scale and freedom. This mission has one of the best atmospheres in the game, and it doesn't hurt that it's also the most iconic level in Halo Combat Evolved. One of the best things about the Silent Cartographer is the freedom of choice. You can take the speedrun route and just completely disregard the beach combat and go straight for the room to unlock the cartographer door, I'm pretty sure that's what that is, and just cut off the mission in half. Or you can take the full-on combat route and use the Warthog, engage in beach combat everywhere, and decide to deal with it that way. As you explore, you're going to come across some of the most memorable firefights in this level, from battling grunts and elites in the open to fighting the massive wave of Covenant forces inside the installation with the mixture of hunters. The action never lets up, and of course, the level's design is top-notch, with diverse environments ranging from wide-open beaches to tight corridors inside the facility. Every area feels distinct, which keeps the gameplay fresh and exciting. The Silent Cartographer is everything Halo fans love about the game, a mix of action, exploration, and freedom. It's a standout mission that perfectly showcases what makes Halo Combat Evolved a classic. Assault on the control room is where the campaign really starts to flex its scale. This one, I'm going to put in B tier. After landing in a snow-covered canyon, you're immediately thrown into a wide-open battlefield filled with wraiths, ghosts, and banshees. This level shows off just how massive Halo CE can feel. You can approach encounters in a variety of ways, whether you stick to a vehicle or go on foot with the Marines. Visually, the mission is striking. Snow falling gently in the daylight, giving the battlefield a cold, isolated feeling. It's a great example of Halo's ability to contrast harsh warfare with serene environments. The outdoor sections are breathtaking, and the combination of human and Covenant tech scattered throughout creates a great sense of world building. Gameplay-wise, it's a playground. I mean, you get access to tanks, plenty of Marines to back you up, with ghosts as well, and warthogs. Some of the coolest combat moments come from choosing how you want to deal with a Wraith, or picking off elites from a high perch with a sniper. That freedom of choice makes this level feel like your own personal war. The indoor Forerunner sections all blur together. Big octagonal hallways, long bridges, and near-identical enemy spawns start to wear thin. You'll push through what feels like the same fight multiple times, and it can drag. I mean, it's not backtracking. Yet. But it's not far off in terms of how recycled it feels. Even so, Assault on the Control Room earns its B tier placement because it's ambitious and fun. It's a major set piece for the campaign, but it just lacks the tight pacing and uniqueness of the top tier levels. Still, it's a great time, especially if you bring a Scorpion along for the ride.
The Covenant were right. This ring, it's Forerunner. Give me a second to access. Yes, the Forerunner built this place, what they called a fortress world, in order to... Wait. No, that can't be. Oh, those Covenant fools. They must have known. There must have been signs.
Slow down. You're losing me.
The Covenant found something. Buried in this ring. Something horrible. And now, they're afraid.
Next up, in S tier, we've got 343 Guilty Spark. This is the level where Halo Combat Evolved throws a complete curveball. You're not just fighting aliens anymore, you're stepping into full-on sci-fi horror territory, and it's brilliant. The mission begins with you dismounting the Pelican in the middle of a foggy, rain-soaked swamp. Your first clue that something's seriously wrong is the radio chatter coming from a crashed Pelican nearby.
Dropship Victor 9, pillar of autumn. Assistance. We are under attack by some new kind of hostile prison covenant. Captain Keyes has been captured by hostages. Dug in at a large structure in a swamp here. Can hold out. Please. I will send this message to repeat at intervals. Dropship Victor 933, clear.
No survivors, just static and broken voices. From there you come across a few scattered Covenant patrols, but more than that, you catch unsettling glimpses of strange figures moving through the fog. As you move deeper, you even pass the wreckage of a crashed Covenant ship, all signs that something bigger is going on. Eventually, you do see Covenant running away from the structure you're about to enter, sprinting in fear as the sounds of assault rifle fire echo from within. You naturally assume it's the Marines, but you'd be dead wrong. As you descend into the facility, things just get weirder and more unsettling. You notice a strange green liquid dripping from the ceiling, a jackal's lifeless body lying in a hallway, blood smeared across the walls like a warning. Then comes one of the most chilling moments, a crazed Marine opening fire on you, babbling incoherently about what he saw and how his squad was wiped out.
Those things! I'll blow your brains out! Get away from me! Ah! Ah! Don't touch me, you freaks! I won't be like you, I'll die first! Find your own hiding place, the monsters are everywhere! Play dead! That's what I did! Play dead! They took the live ones. Oh god, I can still hear them. Monsters! Ah! 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 Just leave me alone!
That's when it hits you, that something has happened down here, and it wasn't Covenant related. Eventually, you come across the remains of those very soldiers, torn apart. Then you find Jenkins's helmet, and the entire horror story unfolds through his helmet cam. The tension builds slowly, masterfully, and then it all snaps.
It's weird, right? I mean, look at it. Something scrambled the insides.
What's that? Plasma scoring?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe there was an accident, you know, friendly fire or something? I got a bad feeling about this.
Boy, you always got a bad feeling about something.
Sarge, can you hear me?
What's going on, soldier?
He's got contact. Lots of them. But they're not Covenant. They're just staring through us. What the fuck? No!
Corporal, do you copy? Over. Mendoza, get your ass back up to second squad's position and find out what the hell is going on.
But
I don't have time for your lip, soldier. I gave you an order.
Sarge! Listen!
What is that? Where's that coming from,
Everywhere.
Mendoza?
I don't... There! Mira!
Hold still! Hold still! Let him have it! Sergeant, we're surrounded. God damn it, Jenkins! Fire your weapon!
There are too many, Sarge!
Don't even think about it, Marine.
Oh, this is local!
Back here, Marine. That's an order. Jenkins!
The flood bursts through the doors, and the level shifts instantly from eerie mystery to pure chaos. You're underprepared and surrounded by something you've never fought before. From this point on, it's a desperate, panicked escape. You're backtracking through corridors now overrun with enemies swarming from every direction. I mean, this isn't just a scary mission. It's a turning point for the story. The Covenant don't even know what the Flood is, and you're the first to witness this ancient threat that was sealed away for a reason. The tone of the game changes right here. It's no longer about just fighting aliens. Now it's about surviving a galactic-scale mistake. Everything about 343 Guilty Spark, from the quiet dread of the swamp, to the audio logs, to the sudden onslaught of the Flood, is unforgettable. The pacing is masterclass. The environmental storytelling is top tier, and the horror, yeah, it sticks with you. That's why 343 Guilty Spark more than earns its place in S tier for atmosphere, story, and how it completely redefines the entire Halo experience in just one level.
Greetings. I am the monitor of Installation 04. I am 343 Guilty Spark. Someone has released the Flood. My function is to prevent it from leaving this installation, but I require your assistance. Come, this way.
Chief, I've lost your signal! Where'd you go? Chief! Chief!
We must collect the index before we can activate the installation.
Now we get to a special tier. One so infamous, it had to be given a category of its own. The library. Yeah, we all knew this was coming. Let's be honest, the library isn't just bad. It's legendarily bad. The kind of mission you warn new players about. The level starts with you getting dropped deep into the ring's ancient inner sanctum with 343 as your guide. What follows is 30 to 45 minutes of mind-numbing hallway shooting, moving through the same dull rooms over and over again as the Flood pour in from every direction. There's no backtracking, but that's if you know what you're doing, because you can get lost. I mean, this level is known for people getting lost because in Halo Combat Evolved Anniversary, I didn't record the footage for it, they literally put arrows on the floor to show you what direction you're supposed to go in. And where I left off about how there's no backtracking and everything, it just feels like there is. Because, I mean, every hallway and chamber looks almost exactly the same. You're constantly locked in rooms, just waiting for Guilty Spark to slowly open doors, while wave after wave of flood try to turn you into mulch. If you thought the flood were bad before, wait until they start spawning with rocket launchers. Yes, rocket launchers. And no, they don't care how close they are to you or to themselves. These maniacs will happily fire a rocket at your face point blank, even if it means blowing themselves to pieces. There is no logic, there's only chaos. I mean, if you're playing on heroic or legendary, this level just becomes a trial of patience. Shotgun wielding combat forms pop out from behind, infection forms detonate in your face, and the checkpoints feel like they were designed by someone who really wanted you to suffer. Sure, the overwhelming nature of the flood is definitely felt here. You do feel like you're barely surviving an outbreak. But did they have to make it this long? I mean, there are no breaks, no real pacing shifts, and nothing to break the monotony. So yeah, the library gets its own tier, because nothing else in the game comes close to how exhausting it is. And that's not a compliment.
You may now retrieve the index. Protocol requires that I take possession of the index for transport. Odd. That wasn't supposed to happen.
Oh, really?
Cortana.
I've spent the last 12 hours cooped up in here watching you toady about, helping that thing get set to slit our throats.
Hold on now. He's a friend.
Oh, I didn't realize. He's your pal, is he? Your chum? Do you have any idea what that bastard almost made you do?
Yes. Activate Halo's defenses and destroy the flood, which is why we brought the index to the control center.
You mean this?
A construct in the core? That is absolutely unacceptable.
Sod off!
Alright, let's talk about 2 Betrayals. And yeah, we're dropping this one in the C tier. On paper, it should be an epic return to the snowy mountaintop of Assault on the Control Room, but in execution, it's more of a headache. The level is a full-on revisit, same areas, same layout, but now you're going in reverse. Except this time it's at night, and there's way more banshees and wraiths. Oh, and did I mention that now there's Flood and Covenant all over the place on here too? This is also the point where, let's be honest, the campaign starts to fall off a bit. Bungie starts reusing levels with only minor changes, and while the story is escalating, the mission design starts to feel more like a filler. You've already seen these spaces, but now it's just backtracking with more enemies and a new objective. The main goal is to destroy 3 pulse generators, and while the concept is alright, the execution's a little bit awkward. I mean, you walk into a room, disable the generator, and your shields get instantly drained. And no, the pulse generator itself won't kill you, but what will kill you is the Flutter Sentinels that just know that you've set off a generator, and they spawn in right after. You're already vulnerable, and now you've got enemies on all sides. You better hope you didn't miss with that shotgun. I mean, the level does give you some new freedom with some vehicle combat. I mean, you can grab a Banshee and fly around the peaks, dogfighting Covenant aircraft while snow falls gently through the nighttime sky. I mean, it's honestly one of the coolest visual moments in the game. The contrast of the dark cliffs, glowing plasma fire, and peaceful snowfall gives it this eerie, beautiful tone. But, unfortunately, the rest of the level can feel like a slog. You'll run into constant enemy spam, Covenant, Flood, Sentinels, all packed into the same rooms, and it just becomes a war of attrition. The pacing takes a hit, and the novelty wears off fast when you realize how long this mission really is. And I mean, then there's the story side of things. The name 2 Betrayals sounds like a huge twist is coming. Technically it is, but the emotional weight kind of gets lost when you're so focused on surviving wave after wave of enemies. I mean, Guilty Spark flips the tables on you here, but the impact doesn't fully land. Overall, Two Betrayals is visually solid, but mechanically exhausting. Between the backtracking, the overstuffed fights, and the recycled environments, it's just not as fun as it should be. C tier, cool ideas, poor execution.
Let's find a ride and get to the captain.
No, that'll take too long.
You have a better idea?
There's a teleportation grid that runs throughout Halo. That's how the monitor moves about so quickly. I learned how to tap into the grid when I was in the control center. Unfortunately, each jump requires a rather consequential expenditure of energy.
Something tells me I'm not gonna like this.
But I'm pretty sure I can pull it from your suit without permanently damaging your hands. Needless to say, I think we should only try this once.
Do it.
Flood overwhelmed this cruiser and disabled it. The Covenant are terrified the Flood will repair the ship and use it to escape from Halo. They've sent in a strike team to neutralize the Flood and repair the ship for immediate departure. I've got a good lock on Captain Key's CNI transponder signal. He's alive, and the implants are intact. There's some interference from the cruiser's damaged reactor. I'll bring us in as close as I can. Oh, I see. The coordinate data needs to be... Right. Sorry.
Now we've got Keys in D tier. This is a level that really highlights the decline of the campaign's flow, both in terms of gameplay and narrative. You start off in the wreckage of the Truth and Reconciliation, which is a stark contrast to the earlier levels. The ship's corridors have a mess of debris some places, with the only notable feature being the strange and eerie atmosphere of having to locate Keys, who has been taken by the Flood. The focus here is on the Flood and how it's taken its toll on Keys. The way the Flood has ravaged him, turning him into another horrifying, grotesque part of the story, is deeply unsettling. But aside from that, this level doesn't offer much in terms of gameplay variety or challenge. The repetition and lack of fresh mechanics leaves Keys feeling like an unnecessary stretch in the campaign. The goal after is to escape the ship, but there's no real interesting level design. Instead, you're navigating through familiar, tired corridors trying to make your way to the hangar. This part of the level feels like a rehash of the earlier level, Truth and Reconciliation, because it is, where you're essentially waiting for two Spec Ops elites to fly Banshees into the hangar. Once they do, you're free to steal one and escape by flying out. It's a forgettable escape sequence, lacking the punch and thrill that earlier parts of the game had.
It'll hold.
We're not gonna make it!
We'll make it.
Pull up! Pull up! You did that on purpose, didn't you?
The Maw is the finale of Halo Combat Evolved, and it absolutely earns its place in S tier. It's a full circle moment. You're back aboard the Pillar of Autumn, the very ship you crash-landed on the ring with at the start of the game. But now, it's overrun with Flood, and your mission is clear: destroy the ship before they can take it over and escape. The level doesn't start with a race against the clock. It begins with urgency, but not like panic. The Flood are everywhere, overwhelming Covenant and Forerunner tech alike, and Cortana decides that the only way to stop them from spreading beyond Halo is to blow the Autumn to pieces by overloading its engines. This will, in turn, cause a chain reaction powerful enough to destroy the ring itself. As you fight through the flaming corridors of the ship, you're not just facing Flood, you're caught in a chaotic three-way war. Covenant survivors are also trying to hold their ground, and Sentinels will attack anything that moves. It's total chaos, and the atmosphere reflects that. Smoke, alarms, dripping Flood biomass. The ship you once knew is completely unrecognizable. you're not alone in the chaos either. You'll hear the Covenant and Flood engaging each other just around corners. You'll see Elite and Grunt corpses scattered from recent firefights, and in true Halo fashion, you're left to clean up the mess with your usual arsenal of human and Covenant weaponry. It's intense, but it's also incredibly satisfying to carve your way through it all. Eventually, we reach the engine room, where you have to manually destabilize the core, not just by pressing a button, but by lobbing grenades or rockets into exposed vents. It's classic Bungie, a gameplay twist right when you think you've seen it all. But this isn't the end. The real finale, and the reason the Maw is so legendary, is the Warthog escape sequence. After Cortana sets the self-destruct, you have 6 minutes to drive the length of the ship to escape. Explosions, enemy gunfire, all while the timer ticks down. And in a stroke of brilliance, the music swells into The Long Run, one of the most iconic tracks in Halo history. It's pure adrenaline and cinematic gold. After overloading the engine core, you and Cortana begin the desperate drive to escape. Along the way, there's a glimmer of hope. Echo 419, the Pelican pilot who's been helping you since the beginning, flies in to pick you up. It's a reunion moment, but it's brutally short-lived. 2 Covenant Banshees swoop in, tearing her Pelican apart before your eyes. It's a gut punch. Echo 419's gone, and now your only option is the last remaining longsword fighter in the hangar. You're gunning it to that longsword, the last way off the ring. As Flood forces chase you through the hangar, you make a final leap into the ship and punch it out just in time. Behind you, the Pillar of Autumn explodes, and with it, the destruction of Installation 04. So there you guys have it. Every mission in Halo Combat Evolved ranked from S tier to the library. This campaign may show its age in a few places, but its legacy is still unmatched. From wide open sandbox battles to claustrophobic horror, Halo CE set the standard for what a sci-fi FPS could be. Whether you agree with the rankings or you think the library deserves even lower somehow, drop your thoughts in the comments. I want to hear how your experience stacked up, especially since the algorithm that YouTube has completely screwed over my Mortuary Assistant video. If you enjoyed the video, consider leaving a like, subscribe if you're new to the channel so that way you don't miss any more uploads, and as always, don't rage quit, stay legit, and I will see you all in the next one.